I feel like you're watching a little bit of Deshaun Watson in Houston. You're watching Lamar Jackson, Baltimore. There's a little bit of Jalen Hurts, just very quarterback driven. And then certainly his ability on third down. That's where they really got Miami. Was there's a number of it was a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, there's an opening in there and he takes it and he's gone. And one of them for 60-something yards. That's where he's very lethal, but it's very much built around him.
Daylight savings happening last weekend. The Lions upsetting the Packers on Sunday. Blood moon on Monday. The election's on Tuesday. Boys, it's been a heck of a week, man, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little sleepy, so this video is probably going to be a little bit shorter than most and a little bit more to the point. We're here to talk about the Week 10 matchup against the Chicago Bears. But before we get into that, fellas, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to do me a huge favor. Go ahead and click like on the video, hit subscribe. If you really enjoy this content, go ahead and ring the bell for notifications so that you never miss out on any future content. All right, now that that's out of the way, I really appreciate it, fellas. Let's get into the Week 10 matchup. All right, hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. As you know, I'm Hat and Beard, and we're here to discuss the Detroit Lions squaring off against the Chicago Bears. Week 10, we're heading out to Soldier Field for Dan Campbell, still in search of that elusive first career road win. Do the Lions pull out the victory on the road this week? I think it's a possibility. Big surprise, I think we're going to win every game. I had us winning 12 games this year. You guys remember that at the beginning of the year? But we've come a long way from there, and I think it's safe to say that both teams are underperforming. The Bears were floundering the first few weeks there, and everybody thought that it was inept. I mean, I remember seeing after the first couple weeks, people were calling for Eberflus's job, thinking that he just was completely inept and was a bad pairing for Justin Fields, and that appeared so. Over the last few weeks, though, they've really unlocked Justin Fields, and it's been a terrifying sight. I mean, last week he broke Michael Vick's rushing record for a quarterback. That's elite company, man. I do think we can get our victory, though. I do think that the Lions have a better than a puncher's chance at pulling off a victory in Chicago on Sunday. There's a few things that we can exploit on the Bears that will play into our hands as long as we can do a couple other things. Let's discuss those couple other things. Before we go down that road too much, let's discuss a little bit of news coming out of Allen Park, and it's good news. It's actually good news, fellas. Jameson Williams has been trending to return, okay? And at the beginning of the year, was very hyped about J-Mo and his return. I still think he's the best wide receiver in the draft. I think that we had arguably the strongest first 2 picks in the draft of many teams outside of the Jets. They killed it in the draft, man. Sauce Gardner's sweet, dude. But there's talk that Jameson Williams is going to return, and I don't know if it's the right decision. Said at the beginning of the year that I was factoring all of these expectations for the team, all these projections, and I was doing it without the addition of Jameson Williams because I wanted Jameson Williams, anything he added, to just be purely additional. At this point in the time of the season, week 10, look, guys, we've already rolled the tanks. Okay, the tanks are sitting in Detroit, right? Last week, I was happy to park the tanks to beat up on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, but we know we're tanking this year. And knowing that we're tanking this year, is it worth it to roll Jameson Williams out there and risk him not being 100%, re-injuring that knee? Maybe getting a little soured to the league, or God forbid, having another injury occur? Or do you just keep the car in the garage until next season? Keep running him through drills, keep having him hit the weight room, really just getting the X's and O's and the coaching him up at the league, because clearly the man has all the talent in the world. So what I want you to do is I want you guys to go ahead and comment down below. What do you think the Lions should do? What would you do? Would you roll Jameson Williams out the rest of the season, or would you park the car in the garage? Me, personally, I'd park the car in the garage, but I can totally understand, look, man, outside of Saint, who's he got to throw to? Banged up Josh Reynolds? Khalif Raymond? Kennedy? Jared Goff could use the weapon, but does the weapon need to be deployed? I don't think so. I think that's something that you need to just hold on to. There's no sense in rolling him out there, risking any injury. Again, we're rolling the tanks, dude. We're tanking this year. There's just no reason to risk any injury to our brand new toy. And then 2 bits of news coming out from the defense. One, it appears that Charles Harris will be returning, and I know he's been completely ineffective this year. I get that. It's not about what he does on paper. It's about what we've seen the defense do as they add pieces back. So we've seen in the Dallas game where we had 2 things. One, Hutch started taking his hand out of the dirt, which is great. But 2, we've seen Josh Paschal return. And Josh Paschal has done a tremendous amount of work on the field that you don't see on the stat line. He's been able to collapse the pocket around for Hutch. He's been able to really set the edge as a bookend defensive end. And then you also look at when John Kaminsky played, and then when he came back, Hutch's production went through the roof. So we can take this information and we can apply it to Charles Harris returning, right? We can say, hey, now that we have our other starting defensive end and almost our full rotation and complement of defensive line players to rotate through, to cycle in, to give Hutch a blow, to give Ali McNeil a blow, to get fresh legs out there. Having Charles Harris return is a massive boost to our floundering defense. And the other bit of news, I called it, guys. I called it. Kerby Joseph was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Not Defensive Rookie of the Week. Not Outstanding Player of the Week. No, he was the Defensive Player of the Week as a rookie. Those 2 beautiful INTs on Aaron Rodgers helped carry him right to that title. And I told you it was going to happen. So, hey, big shout out to Kerby Joseph, man. This kid is the future of our secondary. He is a budding superstar, and I am so glad that the league is starting to take notice of what we've been seeing for the past 2 weeks. So now that we've got that information out of the way, let's talk about the actual game itself. How do the Detroit Lions go into Soldier Field and pull off a victory, getting MCDC his first road win against a a confusing Chicago Bears team, shall we say? A enigma wrapped in an anomaly, right? They don't make much sense, man. And to be honest, they blew up their defense. They traded Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn, which I understand. But then they brought in Chase Claypool. So I don't know, are you trying to build around? I don't get it. I like the Claypool trade. I do. I think Chase Claypool's sweet. Look, guys, the only way that we win this game is if our defense plays like they did against Aaron Rodgers, okay? What do I mean by that? We need to make Justin Fields beat us with his arm, okay? If you start letting Justin Fields beat us with his legs, it's game over. It's game over. There's no way we're going to beat the Bears if we let Justin Fields do Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson type games, or even, Josh Allen. He doesn't have the arm to be Josh Allen. But the mobility, right? So what we need to do is we need to really hyper-focus on how to stop a mobile quarterback. I'm not saying we need to stop the designed runs, okay? What I'm saying is that against Green Bay, we let Aaron Rodgers sneak out of the pocket and rush for 18 yards. Aaron Rodgers is old. He doesn't have the mobility that he once had, and you're letting him rush for 18-yard gains on 3rd and long. Imagine what Justin Fields is going to do. So we need to make Justin Fields beat us with his arm. Why do we need to make Justin Fields beat us with his arm? His weapons aren't so great. Darnell Mooney was ascending last year, and he's really just kind of fizzled out this year. Chase Claypool is a legit weapon at wide receiver. He's big, he's physical, he goes up and he catches the ball at the high point, but he's still in that transitionary period of coming into the new franchise. And again, he has Justin Fields to throw him the ball to. So what we need to do is mitigate the amount of rushing attempts by Justin Fields, and we need to stop Chase Claypool. If we mitigate Justin Fields from beating us with his legs and make him throw the ball, we cannot let Chase Claypool have his, hey everybody, here I am, I'm a Chicago Bear now game. You know what I'm saying? Them games where we're used to Detroit allowing, how's this? Prime example. For years and years and years and years, Detroit was the team that was letting a 3rd-round draft pick rookie safety pick off their franchise quarterback twice for the first time since like 2017. Detroit was the team that was allowing that to happen, not being the team that was doing that, not having the players that were playing outside of their or exceeding their expectations and playing outside of their projected level of athleticism, really exceeding those expectations. And now we're seeing a change in that. We're seeing the Lions are actually starting to become the team that does those things. So it'll be a telltale sign if we are really progressing and growing, if we can continue to maintain the defense that we were playing last week against a down Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, because the Bears are not a great offense either. They have one really outstanding weapon. We also need to realize that just because they're down in their rushing game, they still have 2 outstanding running backs in David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert. So it will be a challenge for Detroit stopping the run game. But if we can make the Bears beat us through the air, it's completely doable as long as Jeff Okudah can continue to play decent against Chase Claypool, and as long as, and now Chase Claypool's a big physical wide receiver. He's bigger than all of our defensive backs, but if you sprinkle in a little zone over the top with Kerby Joseph, my man Kerby Joseph, or even Deshaun Elliott, give him a little safety help over the top, there's no reason why we can't stop the Bears' passing attack, okay? There's absolutely no reason. So make Justin Fields beat us through the air, because if Justin Fields is dropping back and you're collapsing the pocket, this is the other thing that we need to remember. The Chicago Bears have the second worst offensive line in football. They've surrendered the second most sacks, only behind the Indianapolis Colts. That is a huge weakness that we can exploit. We have an aggressive front seven, okay? We need to take advantage of that. We got Charles Harris coming back. We have Zach Pascal that's been playing good. Julian Okwara has made a couple of plays. Kaminsky, you know I love John Kaminsky. And Hutch, it's time to continue your ascension into the next big-time all-world defensive end, man. So let's get after it. Let's get the sacks. Let's make Justin Fields and the Bears beat us through the air. And now I know what you're saying. Hey, Hat. Well, you talked about defense. What about our electrifying 15-point scoring offense that has been floundering since Hawk? Shut the fuck up. God, you fucking weirdos. I'm still hearing weirdos talking about TJ Hawkinson, bro. Fuck off with the TJ Hawkinson shit, man. Seriously, if you love him so much, put on a big fucking purple jersey and go root for the fucking Vikings, man. Piss off with your shit. But I will address the offense. Our offense needs to maintain what they were doing last game. I know, it wasn't flashy. It wasn't pretty. Goff has not been Jared Goff from the first 3-4 weeks, where he was averaging almost 300 yards a game, right? You remember that electrifying offense? Well, Jared Goff had weapons to throw to. Not TJ Hawkinson. We had more wide receivers. Dude, he has 3 guys to throw the ball to. 3 wide receivers. That's about it, because Josh Reynolds has been dinged up. And none of them are over 6 feet tall. You got Tom Kennedy, who... We all know Tom Kennedy is the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game. And then you got St. Brown, who is an emerging budding superstar. And then you have what I call Little Brown, and that is Khalil Freeman, because he's just a smaller version of St. Brown, right? And I get it. It's been working. Maybe don't change it up too much. I'm not saying, bring J-Mo back. You guys know how I feel about that. Our offense needs to maintain what they were doing last game. Really leaning into the run game. I know it wasn't pretty, man, but you're grinding the clock. You're keeping your offense on the field. You're keeping Justin Fields and his legs off the field, man. You just got to play smart, solid, fundamental football, right? Use our big bully offensive line to break the backs of their defense, right? Make a lot of short passes. Use St. Brown the way you were using him last year on a lot of crossing routes, man. You have to play smart football. Dan Campbell cannot be fucking up this game, okay? Dan Campbell has a legit chance of getting his first road win as long as he doesn't overmeddle, as long as he relies on his assistant coaches to do their job. Big PP Ben Johnson can do this. Big PP Ben Johnson is a very good offensive coordinator. Big PP Ben Johnson can call the game, can script the plays to take advantage of a porous Chicago Bears defense. I'm not saying they're completely washed defense. They have some pieces in place, but they're clearly moving on to new players in the defense. They no longer have Roquan Smith. You can take advantage of that. Robert Quinn is gone. You can take advantage of that. There are a lot of holes on this defense that we can take advantage of, and I really think that Big PP Ben Johnson has that within his wheelhouse. So let's hope that we see Jay Willie touch the ball 18 times. Swift, I don't know what's going on with DeAndre Swift. If you're going to play him, you're going to have to keep limiting him like this. I hate the fact that we cannot seem to keep Swift healthy, man. I really do. It's really irking the shit out of me, man. But, Jay Willie 18 times. Swift touched the ball no more than 5 times. I would say toss some Craig Reynolds in there, but you guys, Justin Jackson has been performing pretty well. And if you recall, I've been saying since the beginning of the fucking preseason that Justin Jackson is an adequate fill-in because his skill set matches DeAndre Swift's very similar. Yeah, they're not the same player. He's not as electrifying, but he runs very similar. He moves very similar as opposed to Craig Reynolds, who's a little bit more of a Jamal Williams style, bruising type back, not as fluid, shall we say. But if you can get, if our running backs can have an accumulated 25 to 30 rush attempts this game, there's no reason. There's no reason that you can't complement your defense with a nice run game against a porous Chicago Bears defense. Play smart football, and Dan Campbell, I swear to God, I swear to God, Dan Campbell, I swear to God, if you get down in a fucking another goal line situation and it's 4th down and you go for it again, I'm gonna fucking shit all over your living room floor. Take the fucking points, man. You take the fucking points. Just take the fucking points. Take the fucking points, Dan! Take the motherfucking points. So I'm going to say the Lions are going to win 28-17. I do legit think we can win this game. I really do. I really strongly do. After us not falling into the trap game, the Packers get right game last week, letting the old man come out and throw all over the place and really just make us look silly, I am very confident that we have a better than puncher's chance at beating the Chicago Bears. I'm going to say we're going to go ahead and beat them 28-17. Dan Campbell gets his first road win. Aiden Hutchinson's going to come away with another sack. I don't know if we get any. I'd like to say we get a turnover if we can make Justin Fields try and beat us with his arm, because he makes bad decisions sometimes, and our defense can take advantage of it. So let's go. I really would love to have a little 2-game win streak going on, man. Dan Campbell getting his first road win, bro. Let me be honest, guys. Monday mornings are a lot nicer when the Lions win. Do you remember how Monday morning felt when we were all just like really easy going, a little bit more of a pep in our step? Yeah, it feels good, man. So let's hope that happens again, man. Lions go to Chicago, beat up on the fighting Justin Fields, and look, man, we're gonna go get that victory. We're gonna go get that victory. And we're gonna have a good Sunday. So that's going to do it for me, fellas. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We will catch you guys in the next one with our weekly review video. Hopefully, we're talking W's on Monday. We'll see you guys in the next one. I've been Hattenbeard. You've been the attentive audience. We'll catch you later. Peace.
Time to 23 Skidoo. Or should I say, 69 Skidoo.